South America and Europe as well via satellite. My name is ACHIAA, your daily companion, and it's always a pleasure to serve you every morning, taking you through our selected newspapers. We take a cursory look at all the issues that have been tabled for discussion this morning, and great detail will be discussed on the newspaper review segment, which is in full swing right after the newspaper headline segment. What's up? How is your day? It's a Friday, and you know how it goes on Fridays. Thank God it's Friday. I don't understand why Friday just comes and you're so excited going into the weekend. You just close your eyes and open, and Monday is here. I don't understand. I think it's a cheat. No, I think it's a cheat. I know you agree with me on that, but what is happening in Ghana? Several issues happening across the length and breadth of the country, spanning from issues of galamsey, election issues, also some politicians making some promises, and some of what I call public opinion on choices of some political parties, and that's notwithstanding the recent choice of Alan Kojo Trematin of the Movement for Change, where he picked my boss and my senior Kwame Owusu-Danso as his running mate for the December election. And people are talking on social media. I wish we could go on social media, or our producers have some comment or reaction of the youth, or of the netizens, yeah, that's what we call them, to know what their thoughts are, what they are saying, and how the conversation is going. But before we get into that, let me run you through our selected newspapers for this morning. And it is interesting, the kind of stories that are featuring on the front page. We start with the Inside newspaper. For just an infinitesimal 4 Ghana cedis, you can grab a copy at any newsstand close to you, or you might as well log on to the InsideNewsOnline.com for more updates. Now, the banner headline says mental health crisis looming as the Mental Health Authority reports alarming surge in suicide rates for 2024. And there's a picture of the Minister of Health, Dr. Okoboe, and it is quite interesting that here in Ghana, we don't take mental health issues very seriously. We only attribute, the extreme, the polarized aspect of mental health when someone is not acting usually and they, hit the streets naked or behaving abnormal. That is what we term as mental health. But trust me, mental health goes beyond that. Depression, general anxiety disorders, all these things, mental health encompasses all these things. And so it is quite alarming, as stated in the reports, that there's a surge in suicide rate. I don't know, but perhaps most Ghanaians will side with me to say that our state of the economy is a major contributor to what most of us are going through. Because, listen, there are no jobs, galamsey issues, crime rates are on the rise, and we seem not to have solutions to these problems. People are speaking, hearts are poured out, there are demonstrations, among other things, but we still are not seeing results. So what do we do? This is where people will, make those decisions to end their lives. Because I was watching a video recently, and the guy was talking about NSS posting, which happened not too long ago, where graduates from tertiary institutions are posted to serve the nation in different institutions. And apparently the institution that he was placed had quite a number of graduates, coming through, or had quite a number of graduates who had been selected or posted or placed in that institution. Now he goes to the institution, joins a long queue of other graduates just like himself, only to be asked that who brought him here. Because if you don't know anybody prominent, anybody influential, any big man or big woman, so to speak, you won't have the opportunity to serve in that institution. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And all these add up to the dump of issues that bedevil this nation. Can you imagine? So I'm not shocked at the suicidal rates or suicide rates for 2024. I'm not shocked at all. I'm not shocked at all. But it's not something that we should take lightly. It's something that we should advocate for. We should fight against, because suicide is a sin against God and a crime against humanity. You cannot fault people for their mental health disposition, but we can, do something about it. So let's all join hands in fighting mental health crisis here in Ghana. Now, other stories say that election 2024 lawyer Elijah Kwame Owusu-Danso partners Allen to wrestle power from NPP NDC. Also, 3 land guards with ties to Odainto family arrested for allegedly attacking police officers at Comet Estate. Alliance for Restoration of Civil Rights embarks on protest against IGP, CID boss, and commands RTI reports within 7 days. And here are stories trending on today's edition of the Inside newspaper. Now let's proceed to the Daily Guide newspaper. Banner headline: Election 2024. Bawumia Mahama go neck to neck. NDC rebel leader arrested. Also, government sends police military to Galamsey site. This Galamsey issue has become a suffocating one that needs immediate attention. And I'm surprised, it beggars believe that some stakeholders are calling for a temporary ban on Galamsey. Really? An action that has degraded our environment, an action that is a sin against God, against the creation of God, against the land that He has blessed us with, and a crime which is called, that is why it is illegal mining, should be temporarily banned. I don't seem to agree on that bit. I think that Galamsey should be banned permanently. It should, and all the accompanying repercussions or the punishments that come with engaging in Galamsey should be applied in full capacity, in its full, capacity. Yes, because why would you call for a ban on Galamsey and it should be temporal? One that is destroying our water bodies, one that is destroying our forests, an action that is destroying the lives of young people. I saw a report recently that 40 people die at Galamsey sites. At least 40 people die at Galamsey sites in a month. And it's something that should be temporarily banned. And if I may ask, when will that ban be lifted? What's a time frame are we looking at for the temporary ban? And at what point are we expecting for that ban to be lifted? This is a question we should be asking ourselves, because if we are facing the negative effects of Galamsey, why should we call for a temporary ban rather than a permanent ban? So these are the stories trending on today's edition of the Daily Guide newspaper. Let's move straight to the Daily Graphic newspaper. It says, trust EC for credible register. Deputy Chair assures political party. Also, will reopen discussions on handing over mission schools. Says Mahama. Fighting Galamsey. Marshal security to eliminate menace. GPCC urges government. Let's do the Daily Analyst. Yes, sorry. The front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let's do the Daily Analyst. They say, without fear or favor, 3 alleged land guards arrested for attacking police officers at Comet Estates. Also, Galamsey crackdown. Akufo-Addo deploys police and military as CSOs organized labor. Others mount pressure Also, revocation of fund management license. Government releases 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to affected investors. Still on Galamsey, redeem your presidency and act now. Media collision tells Akufo-Addo. Galamsey crisis again. Master demands immediate action. Threatens mass protest. Duncan Williams, others call for immediate ban on Galamsey. And here are stories featuring on today's edition of the Daily Analyst newspaper. Let's do the Ghanaian Observer. Says Galamseyers beware, Mahama promises jail time if elected. And this story has been taken out of context. I mean, with regards to the fact that Mahama had to assert that if he is voted for and he's in power, he is going to, you know, give some sort of amnesty to those who have been arrested in relation to this Galamsey issue. But we just took some portion of his full speech and, you know, made punch holes in that. But the whole story is that if the main perpetrators of the Galamsey menace have been more or less freed, freed from what they are supposed to face, what the punishment they are supposed to face by the law, have been freed, then when he also comes to power, why won't he free those who are also the young boys and girls that do not have any money to pay for bail or to pay for bribes whatsoever? Why won't he free them too? So it's a matter of he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Simpliciter. And that is what I make out of the story. Now he says that Mahama promises jail time if elected. Also, Bawumia's big plan for public infrastructure unveiled. Bawumia shakes Lejokuku. Gideon Boako is a national asset. Vote for him, says Napo. Ayoko Boche shines at Commonwealth SG debate. And here are stories featuring on today's edition of the Ghanaian Observer. Let's proceed to the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. Says Bawumia's housing plan to partner private sector to address gap. Also, government to unveil 50 community mining schemes. And in other stories, Akufo-Addo commissions $45 million bitumen plant in Tema. Rent control department goes digital. And finally, on the front page of the Ghanaian Publisher, Mahama vows to prosecute the jail illegal miners if elected. I think that's the way to go. Stories trending on the Ghanaian Publisher. But it's just funny how this whole activity is called illegal mining, and it's been, you know, pumped in the country. It's illegal mining. The same energy that we put in, you know, addressing criminal issues like murder, like treason, like piracy, among others, that same energy should be channeled to Galamsey. It's illegal mining. So why have we watched for it to destroy our environment, and now we want to remedy the whole mess? Is it not surprising? Anyway, now let's do the Custodian. Says fearless, fair and reliable. Government to inaugurate 50 more community mining schemes. Also, Akufo-Addo opens Guel's 40 million bitumen processing facility. Our jail illegal miners. Mahama flip-flops on Galamsey fight. And finally, on the front page of the Custodian newspaper, rent control goes digital. Here are stories featuring on the front page of the Custodian. All right, our last newspaper for today will be the Daily Searchlight. Sinking the economy, part 12 of Ghana records huge decreases in oil revenue. Between 2022 and 2023, Ghana's revenue decreased by about $350 million. Right. EC, MPP on NDC over planned demonstration. Also, 8 against Galamsey, Lands Minister seeks media support as government ramps up radical measures. Sechiman Rural Bank records 221% increase in profits before tax. And finally, on the front page, EC NPP to take on EC NPP to take on NDC. My mind didn't even, cross that. EC NPP to take on NDC over planned demonstration. What does it mean? So people don't have the right to demonstrate again? I mean, if there are any negotiation mechanisms, why don't you suggest them, or perhaps invite this rage party to your office? It's a matter of negotiation, it's a matter of conversation. Just like they say in their campaigns, you just have a chance to talk to them. But I'm not sure if it's the Daily Session that is reporting it in this manner, but if that is the case, then I don't think that the EC and the MPP should interfere in this, else it's going to raise a lot of questions, in my humble opinion. Yes. Finally, on the front page of the Daily Searchlight newspaper says, let's intensify our efforts to halt Galamsey activities to avoid future catastrophes, DJA to Ghanaians. And here are stories featuring on the front page of today's edition of the Daily Searchlight newspaper. It's always a pleasure to serve you with what's trending on our various newspapers. We do occasionally we take a casual look at these trending stories, but the stories will be discussed in depth on the newspaper review segments. My name is ACHIAA, AGYEKUM, and you know that it is very, very important to always be you, do you, and stay true. And I made an observation on my way to work. On the stretch from Achimota Police Station through to the Achimota Old Station, and the path that leads, one diverts to on the Nsawem Road, and one turns back heading towards Circle. There are these heavy load trucks that have been parked along that highway. I'm not too sure what they are doing there, but there are heavy load trucks parked at about, say, 1 kilometer distance of the road, and they are about 10, they even go beyond that, and they have caused heavy traffic on the road, especially for those who are diverting onto the Nsawem stretch, or the Nsawem highway. I don't know what's going on. Because the traffic is mounting up. It's impeding those who are taking that diversion, and the traffic is going to mount up. And unfortunately, that intersection, before you climb the hill, has no traffic light. The traffic light has been dysfunctional for the longest time. I don't know when government or state, the institutions involved in fixing traffic lights will come and fix that traffic light. It's an intersection. There's a school there. GH Media is just right on the left turn. There are a lot of activities. There's a fuel station. There are vendors by the roadside. And so if there's no traffic light, and of course cases have been recorded. We've been talking about this for the longest time. I don't know when we are going to get a solution to this problem, but it is high time that that is addressed and resolved. Thank you very much once again, and to all our viewers on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube Live, or our interactors online on all our socials. We do appreciate you, and we do not forget that our viewers up north in the Middle Belt, down south here in the Volta region, we appreciate you. We see all you do, and we really, really do appreciate you. My name is AGYEKUM, and it's a Friday. Now, what do I leave you with? I leave you with Stonebwoy's banger, Run Go.
Tell me where you gonna run go. Yeah, I beat some hair. Tell me please. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. Tell me where we gonna run go. After making our motherland a